Welcome back to Kickin' It here with Mitch. Thanks again. Hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe. Hit the notification so you always know when a video comes out. If you're still part of our family and still tuning in every week, we really appreciate you and thank you for the support. Continue to hit the comments, say something in the comments. Hey, just show us that love. Hey, if you're disappointed with something, let us know how we can get better. Hey, if you got an idea for an episode, share it. Let me know. We'll talk about it. We'll make sure we put it on the show. Hey, without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Hey, it's Susan. Yo, what's up? It's Jamie Kennedy.
My name's Christina Lee.
I'm Steve Ulrich.
This is Marianne Hagan. Hi, I'm Julia Lou.
Hey, everybody, this is John Schneider.
And I'm
Kicking it with Mitch.
Kicking it with Mitch.
I'm kicking it with Mitch.
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 Hey yo, it's Kicking It with Mitch.
So, today's episode, we're just going to talk a little bit about some here and there news, some rumors, that type of stuff. X-Men 97, hey, they did great with season 1. Season 2 is already been made. It's been done, completed. They just got to polish it up a little bit. And they were coming back with the same director because the first 2 seasons were made by the same director, Bo DeMaio. After season 1 ended, Bo still did not get his job back. So whatever he did to disappoint those guys over there, I guess it was something they just couldn't recover from. But in an interesting twist, Marvel What If, and I don't know if you had a chance to see any of that series, it's pretty excellent, pretty good. They've got a new season coming out really soon, season 3, which they said was going to be their last season. Well, the director of that is going over to the X-Men universe. He's going to direct season 3 of the X-Men. Don't know if it'll still have that feel. But in my opinion, it's not really that hard to get someone in and do what Bo DeMaio did, so to speak. Look at the books, take the comic book information, splice a story here, splice a story there, add it in there, keep the content towards the books and keep the stories flowing. But we'll see just how hard it is or if it gets better with this new director. You just never know, really. But I hope the best for the X-Men series because me growing up watching it in the 90s and then it coming back in 2024, it felt like the 90s never left. So I wish that they continue to make this series really good because it's my favorite cartoon, at least from the Marvel standpoint. And I hope that they continue to give the fans who enjoy X-Men and enjoy X-Men the animated series what we want, which is good quality. And that's all we can ask for. I wish the best for Bo DeMaio, but whatever took place, we got no control over and we got to keep moving, right? So, but yes, they do have a new director. It's going to be the director who's actually over the What If series. So let's see if he can pick up and keep the ball going. Nextly, Jason Momoa is rumored to make his debut as Lobo in the Supergirl movie. Yeah, it's a rumor. That's a huge rumor. And if Lobo shows up in the Supergirl movie, the main man is going to be getting him. Because the main man don't play. But we're going to see. That'd be kind of fitting to introduce him through there. I mean, that's kind of different. That's almost kind of like how Marvel does things. But got to remember, James Gunn's the guy over there. So, we'll see. More props to Jason Momoa. He's bouncing back off his feet. No more Aquaman. And I think, in my opinion, Lobo is a better character for him. He could actually be himself and be silly and not be so hard up and serious like Aquaman is. But he did very well in the Aquaman 1 and Part 2, and I enjoyed both of those. So I look for further more success with him as Lobo and whatever they plan to do with him, whether it's his own movies or just him showing up in Superman or Superman-related movies or just in general showing up in the DC universe. Nextly, a new G.I. Joe cartoon series coming in November. Well, what do we have here? Holy definitely got my pants on, as Negan would say. Well, I'm excited about it because in past, G.I. Joe has always come out with good animation, whether it's G.I. Joe Resolute or whether it's, G.I. Joe, the animated series. They've always come out with really good material. I hope that they can maybe use a little bit of that anime style, which they used in Resolute. That could be interesting. And G.I. Joe's got so many different characters and storylines they can start with. But why not touch on it? I mean, with the recent, Transformers G.I. Joe thing going, sky's the limit. And to be honest, G.I. Joe should always been in the forefront, as far as movie and that type of thing, because there's a lot of stories you can do in there. Cobra's got so much potential as far as characters you can start with, and G.I. Joe's got enough guys to fight them on all different fronts, and that's part of what you need as far as an action movie. They've got everything they need, so why not? But in animation, man, it'd be great to see them come back, Cobra Commander, and however they choose to do it. So I'm looking forward to November to see what they actually bring out for us fans of G.I. Joe and us fans of their animation. Nextly, Freddy finally gets on the Walk of Fame. Yeah, Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund. It's 2024. Whoever's the committee that gives the Walk of Fame stars are a bit late on this, I think. This guy's been an icon for a long time, and he's just not getting it. It's kind of like a slap in the face. Yeah, what? I don't get it. But I am very happy to see that Freddy Krueger, maybe it's Freddy Krueger that's getting the walk on the Walk of Fame and not Robert Englund. Maybe Robert Englund's already got one. Maybe that's what it is. But either way, this should have been taking place a very long time ago. But I'm happy to hear that Elm Street has finally reached Hollywood. Hell, the original home is not too far from Hollyweird. So, yeah, I said it, Hollyweird. But, hey, more props to Freddy Krueger. I'm glad to see you on the Walk of Fame. You know you're my favorite, so more props. And I'm so happy for Robert Englund and the Nightmare on Elm Street, New Line Cinema, and everybody who brought that character to life. So that's a tremendous prop, man, and much love to all those guys. I'm so happy to see that you're being recognized finally. As they say, better late than never. So hey, we'll take what we can get, right? Yeah. Elm Street's on Hollyweird now. Yeah. Spaceballs. For you 80s fans, and for you new guys, let's go with you new guys first. Spaceballs is actually a silly adaptation, kind of like how Scary Movie does Scream, and it's basically based off Star Wars characters. Now for you 80s that grew up, same era I grew up in, Spaceballs Part 2, no John Candy, maybe they got a different twist on it. Is Rick Moranis coming back? Maybe they got a different twist. But they're in development to make a part 2. So whatever they're doing, I hope they do it right and continue to give us the comedy that we got in the first one. Because if you don't, it'll be a very disappointing, and it's one of those ones kind of like, if it wasn't broke, don't try to fix it, or why go back to the wishing well one too many times? Why don't you just leave that alone? So I don't know how I feel about that one. If that's the case, can we get a Little Shop of Horror Part 2? Yeah, I mean, remaking everything else. And lastly, our verses for this week is, and we have to keep in mind, if they were in their prime. In their prime. Dennis Rodman versus Tim Duncan. Yeah, we don't talk a lot about sports, but this was an intriguing topic that I thought about, had a couple conversations with, and I felt I should have brought it to the channel. But Dennis Rodman versus Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's a scorer. All right, we know he'll get his bank shot. We know he'll get his points for sure. He'll get his 20, a little more than 20. But Dennis Rodman wreaks havoc on the defensive end of this court. Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. It brings a certain kind of mentality that he'll get into your head. Tim Duncan was often known for not letting anyone get in his head, even, Kevin Garnett, Boogie Cousins, Rasheed Wallace, Chris Webber. No one could get in his head. But I bet you Dennis Rodman could. Now, I bet you Dennis Rodman take it to him. I bet he'd out-rebound him every night. So in a 7-game series, Bulls, maybe classic Bulls, classic Pistons for Rodman versus classic Spurs, that'd be an interesting series. But that matchup would be even more intriguing and a lot more interesting. And I honestly would like to say that I go with Dennis Rodman to take Tim Duncan out of his game. Yeah, I think Dennis can get to him because Dennis played the mental game. He knew where the ball was going when it came off the rim, so he'd get to the glass. Offensively, I give it to Tim Duncan, but that's the only thing. I mean, Dennis Rodman always on both his championship tours with both his teams, Detroit and Chicago. We're going pro Detroit because we don't care nothing about Chicago, okay? But I still think Dennis Rodman would have handled his business and took Tim Duncan out of his game. So that's who I'm going with this week's verses. But who would you have taken? Tim Duncan over Dennis Rodman or Dennis Rodman over Tim Duncan? Good question, huh? I want to hear your answer, just out of curiosity. And I know you're probably saying, Mitch, you crazy, man. Dennis Rodman get cooked. Nah, you real Dennis Rodman fans will know what I'm talking about. And I think Dennis Rodman would take Tim out of his game. That's just me. Well, as always, it's always good to see you guys. Always great talking with you. And always good to just tune in and see what you guys are doing. Because, hey, Kicking in here with Mitch is always here with you. Hey, take care.